Axel, and I work with Johnson County Park and Recreation, and I'm so excited to be with you guys today. And we are here to talk about a fabulous trip, tropical Costa Rica. So I'm glad you're here. And so I'm going to let Michelle introduce herself, and then we're going to get started.
All right. Hi, I'm Michelle Alexander, and I'm the manager for our 50 Plus department. And like Carrie, happy to have y'all here today. And thank you for your comment, Mr. Bacon. We're glad that you're fascinated by all of our offerings. That's awesome. And to kind of lead into that, I'm going to share my screen real quick. I know a few of you who've been on today have seen this a few times, so I'll try and make it fast here. And I'm on the wrong page. So I just want to show you how to get to our website and how to find all things extended travel with 50 Plus on our website. So this is our main landing page for jcprd.com. So that's where you go to first. And then you have some different places to check out here across the top. And if you go to the activities button here and just hover over it, you're going to have this this big menu pop up, and you're going to come over here and look for 50 Plus, where you can see all things that we do within our 50 Plus department, which is a lot. But we want to talk about travel today. So you'll click on that word travel, and it's going to take you here to this page, to where you'll find information about any travel shows we might have coming up, some of our specials, as well as the different types of travel we offer. So we have extended travel, regional tours, day trips, nature walks. So you can click on any of those that you might be interested in. But today we're talking about extended travel. So you just click on that picture there, and it takes you to our extended travel tour page. And here you can find a lovely little video. If you haven't ever been on tour with us before, it's Carrie and I, it's about 5 to 6 minutes long, and it tells you exactly what you can expect once you sign up for a trip with us, kind of how we keep in contact with you, what happens before the trip, after the trip, all those types of things. So you can get all that information there. And then as you keep scrolling, you can see all the tours that we have listed with the month and the year that they're being offered. And you just click on any of those pictures that you want to, those tours that you want to check out, and it's going to take you to Collette's website that gives you all the details, the itineraries, the prices, the accommodations, all those details about all these trips. So you can just click on there, and it takes you to the trip that we're offering with Collette. So and then all of our contact information is there as well. So after the meeting, if you want to check that out, it's available for you 24/7.
All right, guys, I'd like to introduce Kenny. He works for Collette, and he is going to be telling us all about this trip. All right, guys, enjoy.
Forgot to unmute myself. All right. First time out of 8 presentations, not too bad. All right. So my name is Kenny Judd. I am the director of the Central U.S. For those who have previously joined, you can tell I'm very excited. I love talking about travel. Costa Rica, one of my first destinations that Collette sent me on. And I loved it so much, so I've been back 2 to 3 different times, including just on my own to go see it, and took my wife and friends. But this tour is very unique, and I'll talk a little bit about that throughout the tour with the tour managers, because they are all naturalists. So every plant, bug, animal you see, they know about it. They'll give you the history behind it, and they really have a passion for their country. And I think that really does come out in touring. I know that when we were there with our friends and family, Pura Vida, they were, by the end of it, everybody was saying it, and just how much they loved it. And so I know that a couple of my friends already want to go back, including one of my very good friends who's a doctor here in town. He wants to buy a house there. So it really is a destination that has grown tremendously over the past 5 to 7 years. It's a great value. It's an easy flight. The people are fantastic. Everybody pretty much speaks English. So great destination. So we're going to talk a little bit about our tropical Costa Rica, which is January 12th through the 20th. We have 9 days, 14 meals, 8 breakfasts, and 6 dinners. And it really is tropical Costa Rica. You have kind of the good life, if you will, and a rendezvous with exotic fauna, lush rainforests, endless coastlines. And the best time to go is from November to February. So you talk about prime season. Their rainy season is around May to October. So we're outside of that, not to mention, y'all remember what the last couple of weeks were like. What a great time to get out of here and be somewhere warm. So we'll fly in and out of San Jose, as that is the easiest airport to operate out of. We'll spend 2 nights in Guanacaste region. We'll get 2 nights in the Monteverde Cloud Forest, 2 nights in Arenal, and then we'll be back in San Jose. And it really is a great balance. We're going to get some ocean out on one side. You know, there's plenty of walking and hiking and so many different things to see. And so it is a fabulous area. And as I mentioned, the people are fantastic. They love their country, and they're happy to tell you about it. So as we fly in, you know, I usually fly, I live in Hot Springs, but, you know, just to give you perspective, from Kansas City, you're talking about a 4-hour flight, if even that, into Costa Rica. So a nice, easy flight down, really a blend of engaging kind of city life, that picturesque nature, and you'll really fall in love with Costa Rica as a whole. We're going to get started. We'll get you into San Jose. We'll overnight there. And then the following day, we're going to start traveling through some of that lush countryside that I was talking about. And in this particular region, we're in the Central Valley, which is very fertile and a region world renowned for its coffee. A lot of people don't realize that, but since the 1700s, coffee has been a huge part of Costa Rican agriculture. And it is regarded as some of the best coffee in the world. I remember being at this coffee plantation and going through, and, you know, we learn a lot about the history and the cultivation of the product. And it is a true driver of the Costa Rican economy. But one of the things that I loved is anybody that's ever seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, you know, I always go back, by the way, the one with Gene Wilder, not the Johnny Depp one. But whenever they have when they have the gooses up there laying the eggs, and the egg comes down, and if it's a golden egg, it goes into here. And if it's a bad egg, it goes over here. You know, that's essentially what they do with their coffee bean. And so they have all of these beans, and they sort through them, and they're able to kind of identify which ones they are. And so you'll be able to see the process of the kind of the making coffee from the seedbed to the roasting room. But it is fascinating for as they break it out. And it was making me laugh because they said, okay, this is our #1 coffee bean right here, and it makes this kind of coffee. And this one does this. And they got to the 3rd and 4th part of the coffee beans, and they said, you know, how many of you drink Folgers? And of course, you know, all of us Americans raise our hand. Yeah, we've all had some Folgers. And he said, that's this coffee bean, which is the #4. And I remember laughing, thinking, you know, I knew I didn't like coffee, and I needed some Costa Rican coffee. So you do have the opportunity to learn about it, and it is phenomenal, huge part of it. And you'll learn about the history as we tour, and you have the ability to bring some home. And then we'll continue on, and we're going to arrive in the Guanacaste region, which is very well known for its fine sandy beaches, beautiful Pacific side mountains, volcanoes. In fact, this is where I spent on our last trip to Costa Rica. We actually rented a house in the mountains here in the Guanacaste region. We were about 15 minutes from town, and it was unbelievable. Sitting up in the mountains, you know, you could see the ocean, and then I could hear the howler monkeys in the morning, and just knowing that you're right there in the middle of kind of the jungle-esque atmosphere, but the water right there, it really was fantastic. The Guanacaste region is, you know, the tree itself, the Guanacaste tree is the national tree of Costa Rica. And it kind of just means that elephant ear tree. So that's when you see it, you'll kind of know what that is. And here we're going to get to kind of relax and enjoy some of the resort amenities. We are literally staying at a hotel that you walk across the street and you are on the ocean, you're on the beach, and you're enjoying it right there. So day 3, we're going to have a day at leisure. We're going to spend some time here at the resort. There are a couple of things that you can do. Enjoy the fun in the sun, the town itself. You can go in, there's restaurants, there's shopping. I'm a huge Sooner fan, so I'll just let you know. When I was here, I actually found an American-owned kind of a sports restaurant almost, and it was so much fun. We were there watching the OU game, but we were eating the food, the locals, everybody was cheering. We were watching ESPN. Just a lot of fun in the area because everyone is just the pura vida, you know, the pure life, and they're living it 24/7 and they love it. There's so much to do. You know, you can choose an optional tour down the Ora River, breathtaking, you know, snorkeling experience. And we do have an option here if you're interested in it. And so a lot of people are interested in the options or free time. So again, these are all the pre-sold options. You don't have to do them. But if you're interested, there is a couple of those here in the Guanacaste region. One being kayaking on the Wara River. So kind of branches out. We'll take an intimate look at the local wildlife as you gently paddle 6 miles down. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's really not as you're floating down. And you get to see some of the playful monkeys and the iguanas scurrying up the trees. Everything in Costa Rica is protected. And so the wildlife is so used to being around, you know, humans that you have an unbelievable experience to really enjoy that. We also have the dolphin watching and snorkel experience. So if you're interested in looking into that, we'll have the ability to do that. And we kind of go out. You can try your hand at even fishing along on this tour if you're interested. Or you can simply relax by the pool, take advantage of the resort's lovely amenities. As I talked about, you are right across the street from the ocean. You have an infinity pool overlooking kind of the skyline. Really a great location that you have the ability to walk up and down. Day 4, we get to head out, and we're going to be kind of switching from the relaxation into the Monteverde Cloud Forest. Now, one of my biggest complaints I've ever had on this tour, and I had just started, and, you know, I have a client come back and they called me and I said, how was the trip? And they said, well, it was great, except for, and I said, uh-oh, well, what happened? She said, well, it rained on us in the cloud forest. And I said, well, they don't call it the dry forest. And so I do prepare yourself for a light jacket or whatever the case is, as you are in the Monteverde Cloud Forest. And some of the trees actually grow up to heights of 100 feet. So a cloud forest is basically a forest with very dense humidity. And so it is accompanied by low-level clouds that actually are kind of hanging from the trees. And so this is declared one of the 7 natural wonders of Costa Rica, and you'll have the opportunity to kind of surround yourself with that nature itself. And then we're going to take a nice little leisurely paced nature walk through some of the spectacular ecosystem, and we have the opportunity to see incredible species of flora and fauna up close. You know, the Monteverde Cloud Forest Reserve consists of over 26,000 acres with 6 different ecological zones, 90% of which are actually virgin forests. And so that's one of the reasons that they have such a unique ecosystem, that all of these different natures, you know, kind of, I don't want to say nature, the natural flow of wildlife, birds, animals all throughout here really is fascinating. And it is home to the world's largest population of endangered quetzal, celebrated for its gorgeous kind of jewel-toned color there that you can see, and you can keep your eyes peeled through these. If you're lucky enough to spot, it is kind of an elusive bird, but it is home here. Day 5, you're going to choose between the butterfly and hanging bridges or a zip line canopy tour. Now, this is a little bit different than the pre-sold option that I was talking about with the kayaking and the dolphin watching. This is already included. So you just let us know what you want to do that day. You know, if you don't want a zip line, totally fine. We have the world's largest butterfly gardens with more than 30 species of tropical butterflies. Costa Rica has 1,000 species of butterflies, so you definitely want to have your camera ready. We'll have a nice little walk. We have a nearby gallery that contains more than 100 beautiful hummingbirds. And, you know, they're known as the hummingbirds because of the humming clearly kind of created by the beating of their wings, which flap at incredibly high frequencies. And it is fascinating to me that some of the wing flapping rates typically around 50 times per second. If you're not interested in the hummingbird and you want to have a little fun and a little bit of a different experience, then you can join an expert for a leisurely paced hanging bridges walking tour, which is kind of walking through. You'll learn a little bit about the unique ecosystem, its mammals, birds, or the zip line tour. And this is an absolutely must do for me when I was there. It is one of my favorite things that I've ever had the opportunity to do. You truly can feel the adrenaline as you fly through the air. There's 7 different zones that you have the opportunity to do. It's truly safe. There's no issues. And if you don't want to go alone, they will do a tandem zip line with you. But some of the views and just unbelievable experience traveling through here. I remember zip lining over, and you could kind of see a mountain valley below, and it was spectacular. So you get to choose what you do that day. Either way, don't worry about it. We'll all meet up back with the group and we'll have the opportunity to come and learn a little bit more. And one of those is during the winter months, many birds call Costa Rica home. And that is due to the warm weather and the unique ecosystems. And so has a very welcoming environment. So when you hear heading south for the winter from the birds, this is literally where they're coming to. Day 6, we'll discover kind of the importance of the conservation in Costa Rica. You know, they are very, very good at conserving how they live their life. And here we're going to learn a little bit about that with a visit to a tree nursery and learn about Monteverde's reforestation efforts of these indigenous trees. And it is something that's very near and dear to their heart and how they want to protect their natural way of life. We'll traverse through some of the beautiful mountainous landscapes from Monteverde to one of my favorites, Arenal. Unbelievable, breathtaking views of the volcano here, and it is an active volcano in the area. One of the things that we do as we get to Arenal is we're going to take a delightful cruise on Lake Arenal, which is the largest lake in Costa Rica. And it is very different than the lakes that we're used to. It's not something that you can just go hop out on a lake and take your boat and do the things. This lake covers an area of about 33 miles, and it is a hydroelectricity project that actually built the Arenal Dam in 1979, and it produces 17% of the country's electricity. So you have to have special permission and things to get out of here. Luckily, we have the ability to do that. We'll take a nice little cruise. You can see the volcano during the cruise. As I said, it is technically still an active volcano. And some of the earliest known eruptions of the Arenal took place back in 7,000 years ago. It's been generating lava for the past 30 years, up until about 2010. And then there has been no lava since then, but it rises about 5,400 feet, and you can see it. And one of the things that I love is that the resort that we're staying at, no matter where your room is, when you walk out your
All right, hold on, guys. It looks like we might be having a sound issue. So we are all having it, just so you guys know. It's not just your computer. So we'll get Kenny back on and have him finish this.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sorry about that. Where did I start going quiet?
The volcanoes. We're talking about the volcano.
Volcano. Okay. Everybody see right there?
Yes, we can see.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
we can.
Perfect. Sorry about that. Hopefully I will be good to go for the rest of the way. But the volcano itself is about 7,000 years old. That was when the first eruptions kind of took place. But as I was kind of going into, you know, one of the things that I love is the resort. And the resort that we stay at, you walk out your front door, and no matter what room you're in, you have the ability to see that volcano right out of your front door at the resort. It really is spectacular. It quit creating lava back in 2010. So up until then, for about 30 years, it was actually still creating lava. And the resort itself, one of my favorite things is they have different pools, you know, all around. One of them actually is one of the pools. You know, I was in there and it was getting a little bit late. It was around 9:30, and all of a sudden I noticed the water kind of starting to get sucked down. And so I kind of asked the bartender there, I said, what's going on? He said, oh, this is a thermal pool that is filled every single day with the geothermal waters of the area. So it's a natural spring that they fill this specific pool in every single day. And I said, well, I wondered why it felt so warm and relaxing. And he said, absolutely. And so they have different kinds of pools and things that you can enjoy here in the area. And then the following day, we're going to get out on a tour, and we're going to head out on Costa Rica's nature preserve. And this is a remote area of about 20,000 acres here on the Cano Negro River, and it is the largest viewable selection of indigenous wildlife. And so as we come on here, and you can see, you know, the river is covered, so you don't have to worry about getting too hot in there. But we'll take a little riverboat trip in a panga, which is the covered canoe, stopping along the way to kind of see different kinds of wildlife, take, you know, pictures, have photograph opportunities, and you may even get to see some crocodiles, river otters, sloths. This is a great area for the sloths specifically. river turtles, some of the exotic birds and rare butterflies. I can tell you, we had crocodiles and things that were literally 30 feet from you that were just swimming around. And at no point did you feel in danger. Again, they're very used to seeing humans. They understand what's going on. It's just fascinating to be able to be that close to them. And as I talked about, the Cano Negro Wildlife Refuge is actually home to the prehistoric Gasper fish and over 78 mammal species, including the rare white-tailed deer. Sorry, there's absolutely no hunting. Everything is protected here, but it is fascinating to be able to see the sloths. They live a tough life hanging up in the trees all day. And along the shores, you'll be able to kind of see different things, spot wandering animals. Even, of course, you'll have the opportunity to keep your eyes peeled. The spider and white-faced monkeys, the caiman turtles, as well as the Jesus Christ lizards. One of my favorite was the howler monkeys who, they like to make a little noise about 4 a.m. And you would think that these particular monkeys are about 400-pound gorillas. And then when you see them running around and swinging from the trees, you think, oh my goodness, that little thing was making the noise. So I love me some howler monkeys. They really entertain me. My wife was scared to death because of the noise. And then once I actually pointed them out, she started laughing and she said, that little thing is making that noise. And I said, it sure is. So we'll have the opportunity to see that, as well as see, you may even have the opportunity to see a fin from a freshwater shark that is in the areas as well. So Arenal volcano area is known really as the land of kind of the spas and hot springs. So after a full day of exploring, we will have an opportunity to kind of take a little bit of time back. We'll have an option if you're interested in a spa treatment. So if you want to relax and do that, we do have a pre-sold option. Or if you'd like to go hiking, enjoy some of the walking around the areas, you can do that. Or you can just relax at the resort, whatever it is that you're interested in doing. But there is a lot of great options on this tour. And then on our way back to San Jose, we're going to stop and we're going to discover kind of a charming little town of Zarcero. And this is a very well-known kind of a whimsical garden that is fascinating because there are nearly 120, I don't want to say over, nearly 120 sculptures. And some of them include an elephant, giraffe, chickens, dinosaurs I saw, even humans, and some of them even vehicles. And it's really kind of the national, sculptors area, if you will. And it was created by the local artist, Evangelista Blanco. And so everybody loves to walk through and see the different shapes in the garden. And it's really a great experience. And then we head over one of the treasures of San Jose, and on the panoramic tour here, we'll be able to kind of see the bustling Plaza de Cultura and the National Theater. And this is a magnificent building of kind of that post-Baroque splendor. And the people have really taken to this. This National Theater is something that is so important to the local community. Costa Rica is not a rich nation, and so they spent a lot of money to have the ability to bring this in and really create an unbelievable theater to bring people in from all over the world. So it is kind of a national treasure to them. As I talked about, the tour managers have so much information. They're all naturalist guides. They have to be. That's part of the culture and part of the stipulations that Costa Rica has. So we have to use their guides, and they are truly some of the best in the industry. They give you so much information and just truly love their country. So much so that I'm still friends with a couple of the tour managers that I've had the opportunity to meet with. So we'll toast there. We'll say goodbye as we head back on our short flight. Unless you would like to extend your vacation, we do have the Jungle Adventure, and this is an optional 3-night post-tour jungle adventure as we head out, and it's a little bit of a different type of feel. We're heading out into the Tortuguero National Park, kind of the Amazon of Costa Rica, if you will. We'll have a 2-night stay at the Eco Lodge surrounded by some of the beauty here, and this is really more of a jungle experience, so I'm very candid when I talk about this. I had the opportunity to do it. It was amazing. And so these are the cabins that we actually stay in. And I remember the railing here, the top of the cabins, howler monkeys running around. As you walk to breakfast, they're hanging out. So you are surrounded by wildlife. We did a couple of nature walks, but Tortuguero National Park is really a study in the rainforest of freshwater and marine biology. And so it helps protect over 350 species of birds, mammals, And so that's one of the things. There's also 57 species of amphibians, 111 different species of reptiles. It has so much in this area. But one of the most important is in 13 of Costa Rica's 16 endangered species, including jaguars, cougars, river otters, and manatees are in this area. And so that's how it's become such an important marine biology research area. And you have the ability to do that, learn a little bit about the world's first green turtle research station, and kind of really learn how to protect the turtles' nesting and habitat and eggs. We'll have the opportunity to see the boat cruise for different various canals. One of the things that I love is you actually have to take a boat. There is no car. So everywhere you go in the area, you take a nice little boat ride. As we came over to one of the schools, it was fascinating. It was right on the coast, right on the water. Kids were playing soccer, running around, football, of course, if you're in that area. But I just kept thinking, there's wildlife, here's the ocean. These kids are playing soccer. It was unbelievable. And again, you're having the opportunity to see so much of the wildlife. That is more of a true jungle experience if you're interested in that extension. If not, you would have headed home. If you do take the extension, then we'll head back to San Jose, where you'll have the opportunity to coast to a fabulous trip. As always, we're going to pick you up, take you to and from the airport as we head back. And if you are interested in, you can personalize your vacation, elite airfare. We have those optional experiences, the choice on tour. If you'd like to go in early and stay a little bit late, we can make that for you, as well as the tour extension that I talked about with the Guerrero National Park. We have our no worries travel protection plan, which allows you to cancel for any reason up until 24 hours before you depart. And so that is, a lot of our competitors are coming out with peace of mind. We created that. We've been doing this for over 40 years. Cancel for any reason up until 24 hours, get a full cash refund. But it also covers you on tour for medical assistance, evacuation, lost baggage, whatever may arise, you are completely covered so that you have that peace of mind and you can go out. You don't have to worry about it. You're covered and good to go. You traveled with us in 2018. We're going to automatically take $100 off, as you did not have the opportunity to use that in 2020. If you traveled in 2019, we'll automatically take $150 off your final payment. All of that will be taken care of internally. You don't have to do anything. If this is your very first tour, you will sign up. And then the next tour you go on, if it's within a year, you'll get $150 off. If it's within 2, you get $100 off. You will need a passport for this particular trip. So please make sure that you are up to date within 8 months of your return. We will help you with any of the guidelines and everything going on. And we have our group webpage. So if there's something more about this tour that you want to know as far as the options, the weather, what to do, where to go, the hotel accommodations, clothing, packing tips, any of that, go to the web link and that will have a lot more information, as well as you can sign up right there directly on the web link. Click sign up now and you can go into that. So deposit $600. Your insurance is $399. So your total deposit is $999. That is 100% refundable up until July 12th. After July 12th, the only thing that you're at risk of losing is the insurance, which is $399. Your final payment will be October 13th. And I will tell you right now, we had an unbelievable air offer on this. And so because of that, this tour is typically right under $3,000. It's usually around $29.99 or so. So you can see land, air, taxes, everything out of the Kansas City airport, $22.98. It's one of the reasons that Michelle and Carrie wanted to add this, is because there's just some unbelievable air pricing out there that we were able to go back and renegotiate on. And so with that being said, and the single supplement on this is actually only $500 more, which I can tell you is an unbelievable deal as well in a lot of prices. So if you're traveling as a single, it's $27.48, which typically doesn't happen. A lot of times the single supplement's up to $1,000 more. So with that being said, I will open it up for questions and I will get into the chat. I do apologize about the sound issue we had there. So one of the questions is, what resort does the tour stay at? So we stay at the Nambu Beachfront Bungalows in Guanacaste. And then when we're actually in Arenal, it is the Mountain Paradise Hotel. And all of those are listed on the brochure that Carrie has sent out to you as well. Or you can go to the web link too, and it'll kind of give you more information. We always list our hotels. We always list where we're staying. We stay at the DoubleTree, which is fantabulous. When I was there, I think it even has a casino if you like to do a little bit of gambling. I may or may not have indulged in that when I was there. And there's a great golf course right next door to it as well. So if you go in early or you stay a little bit late, you'll have some things to do. One of the questions that I know is going to come up, and there it is. Oh, it came in before I got to it. How is COVID going to affect the tours like the boats? That's a great question, and it is obviously the elephant in the room. So what we are doing right now is anything that, and I want to be clear, right now we have all of our protocols set in place, which means we are operating our tours with about 30 to 35% availability so that people have plenty of room to spread out, social distance. We are utilizing masks and cleaning protocols and all of those. However, as things start to open up with the vaccines, herd immunity, all of those things, we will always be in line with the CDC guidelines, with the country's guidelines, and whatever is happening in those particular regions. So currently, let's say there's this tour would max out at 44 people. Typically, we operate at about 35. If that was the case in these particular situations, we would have multiple boats on a cruise so that you have the ability to social distance. If it's something with a motor coach, even a motor coach that's open, if we were able to get a 40 or a 54 passenger motor coach, that still allows about 30 to 35 people to socially distance and spread out and have plenty of room. Quite frankly, with the vaccine and herd immunity and some of the things that are happening, I don't anticipate COVID being an issue by the time that this tour operates, but we will always be in line with the country's guidelines, the CDC's. We were the first company to operate tours coming back. So it's not even about us putting plans together. We've already executing them. So we'll be in line with all of those. And of course, as always, you have that cancellation policy, which will allow you to cancel if you feel unsafe. You don't have to worry about it. You can cancel and get 100% of your money back. What other questions do we have? You can type them in or you can unmute yourself and feel free to ask.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the cost of the extended 4-day tour?
So there's no air that's included on that one. So you're good. It's just $549 per person, and that's 8 meals. You'll have 3 breakfasts and 3 lunches that are included.
Okay.
I do tell people that is, it is kind of that jungle experience. You boat everywhere. The cabins didn't have air conditioning, but they did have fans, and they have a pool and a resort. Even had Wi-Fi and some things in the area. But it is a wonderful experience to really dive into the heart of these marine biologists, the research centers, and so much going on in that area. And it kind of takes you to the other side. So we've been on the Pacific side. This kind of takes us to the Atlantic side. So you can really say that you've seen all that Costa Rica has to offer.
So you'll get on the Caribbean side and be at, okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's right. It's kind of right on the border right there, and you'll be able to see where you're at. It's phenomenal. I loved it. It was one of my favorite parts of the tour.
Okay.
How long is the extension? You said 3 days, and the
4 days, 3 nights.
It is 4 days. Okay.
Yep. 4 days, 3 nights. Yep.
Kenny, there's a question in the chat box.
On the side, I'm just saying hanging bridge option. So on the optional adventure, so I think you have to choose. Let me double check. I'm looking at those right now. Those options always get a little bit tricky.
While Kenny's looking that up, I will say we have offered this. JCPRD has offered this trip many times throughout the year, especially being in January when it's, where else can you really go to great locations during that time of year? And every person that we've sent has absolutely loved this tour. It is one of the tours that I hear about the most. I'll ask, hey, where's your favorite place you traveled to, or what Collette tours have you been on? And everyone that's been to Costa Rica, they always bring it up to me and say, Costa Rica was one of my favorite. The tour was amazing. It's just one that you hear about a lot that, I haven't been on it, but just the experience that I hear from our travelers and them telling me about it when they come home is a place that it really is top of my list, just of all the wonderful things that I hear about this tour.
Absolutely. So you do have to choose, because both of those are happening in the Monteverde Cloud Forest since when we have the afternoon. So unfortunately, you'll have to choose either the zip lining or the hanging bridges. You cannot do both because they're kind of happening at the same time.
And then too, especially on those choice on tours, you know, we can get more detailed information, you know, like if you have specific questions like, oh, I really want to see this, does this include this on the optional? So even when you're registering, if you don't want to choose one right that time, that's fine. You know, you can reach out to me and say, hey, Carrie, can you get more details? And we can be more specific on what you will see, what you won't see. So you'll, you know, don't think that whatever you put right now is going to make you do that choice. It can change, you can get more information. Even sometimes if on the tour manager can really give you better information, and you can change while you're on tour on most of them. So that's an option. So don't feel like you're stuck on one certain one today, or even while you're there, you can always change.
Yeah, we have people switch all the time, and half the time people forget, oh, I forgot what I signed up for. What was I changed my mind. I want to do this one, I do that one. So
yeah,
we're very flexible with that, and the tour manager will have some great insight on what to and not do. A lot of times I say it's not always what you need to do, it's what you don't need to do, and they're always great to let you know that.
Is there a discount for signing up today, and how long a period today do you have to sign up for?
So because of the air rate that we were able to go back and renegotiate there, you know, typically we have what we call that air booking bonus. We actually just included that all in, and that's why you're getting that $22.98. So there's no bonus for signing up today. This price will be locked in until that July 13th date that I put in there. So this price will be locked in until then. After that, you know, and of course availability. So depending on how many people sign up, I think there's already a couple signed up on this tour, and so up until then you're good to go.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I would echo Carrie's. I was going to say the same exact thing that she did about the feedback that we get from participants, from travelers that have gone on this tour. They absolutely do rave about it, and at this price, if you're thinking about it, you should absolutely jump on it.
Right. And then also, because you're going to an amazing destination and you're going on a short flight.
Yeah,
that is a huge bonus.
2 other bonuses.
Yeah, right. Like that is so nice. When Kenny talked about flight, I was like, oh yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah, I think it was 3 hours flat for me from Dallas in there. Yeah. So, you know, you had about an hour from Kansas City and you're good to go. Right. And I will say, I took my wife, we paid more for our 5-day Airbnb with flight and everything down to Costa Rica than this price right here. So it really is a great opportunity. It's one of the reasons that we added it. And I do tell people it is the best time of year to go. November to February, that's when you want to be in Costa Rica. And quite frankly, getting out of Kansas. We both know that, we all know that's the time. Right after the Super Bowl, right? Oh, you know, like you'll be good. I mean, you'll be back by the Super Bowl is what I meant. So that first weekend in February to see Patrick as they get it next year, I'm sure.
Right.
What's the average temperature?
So the temperatures aren't that bad. It's going to be the high 80s, but really it's the humidity for people who aren't used to it. I always tell my people in the Midwest and South, humidity isn't an issue for us. I've been on this tour with some people from the Northwest who, you know, they literally thought the world was ending. And I said, this is not even that bad. It's about 80% humidity. So the temperatures themselves aren't too bad. It's going to be high 80s, maybe low 90s. It's really just about the humidity, which, you know, we're all used to. So that's not an issue for us.
Okay.
And you're missing rainy season. So, and I will say, if any of you are interested in surf lessons, right there on that resort in the Guanacaste region, they're always doing some surf lessons. So if that's something you're interested in, you can. Other than that, if there's no more questions, that's all I have, Carrie.
All right, perfect. So there are a couple options if you are interested in registering for this tour. So like Kenny said, and we put the link on there, you can register online through Collette, or in the registration form that I sent you, or the brochure of the trip, there was a registration form in it. And with that, it has Meadowbrook Park Clubhouse address. So if you want to fill that out and mail it to us, you can, and we'll get you registered. Or you can stop in at our office, and we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Drop that form off and we can get you registered. We do ask that if you do either bring it in or mail it in. You don't write your credit card information down, please. We don't want you writing on paper or anything. If you mail it in, we'll just give you a call and take your credit card information over the phone. Or also, if you want to pay by check, you definitely can do that as well. And then you can do that in our office. So again, if you have any questions, we would love to answer anything, talk about it. And if you have specific questions, we can always get Kenny involved with any information that you need. But we are so glad to have you with us today and really hope to get you guys out traveling really soon.
Thank you, everybody. See you on tour.
All right, guys, have a great day.